Let's find out as the Borough take on the Bullants in the first preliminary final on Grandstand. Today, this famous club, Port Melbourne, is looking to take the second last step to what all sporting teams achieve or hope to achieve, and that is a perfect season. Can they make it all the way through to the grand final? We're about to find out. Today, they face the Northern Bullants. So we're ready to get things underway. Who's it going to be to get through to the Docklands tomorrow week? In the 2011 VFL Grand Final, Fanning and Meese with the first contest of the preliminary final. Umpire gets it straight up and down with a good bounce. Fanning knocks it down straight to Baird, who clears the centre up towards the Liston Trophy winner in Valenti, starting out of the centre square today. Joe Dare, who was so brave last week. Penwell copped a high one there. McCorkle needing to be very careful. In fact, it's Burston who just about stubbed his toe. Now Penwell runs onto it. He gets it at the attacking edge of the centre square. Be interesting to see just what the breeze is doing. It appears to be a bit of a cross breeze at the moment, but he's got good carry on that. It is just drifting right and through for a minor score. We'll get the opinion of Phil Cleary when things settle, just exactly what the breeze is likely to do. Dwyer just taken down in the tackle. Bullants player did a good job not to push him in the back, out the back door. Francis back to Dwyer, to Penwell, looks to the hot spot. Lynch is lurking with intent, and that's danger when he does that, because normally he'll set up the goal or get it himself. This time he gives it to Patrick Rose. He's on the board, and Port's got the first goal of the preliminary final.
Just fantastic reading of the play there. Penwell's driven the ball in long to a contest, but Malcolm Lynch has read it probably better than anyone else on the football ground. Ran forward onto it, and Paddy Rose, he loves a goal, and he's going to be sneaking out the back every day of the week. And well done, Paddy Rose. They get the first one on the board, boys. The Bullants back six will eat that up every day.
DeLuca wrestling. Both ruckmen missed it. Little hack kick by Francis. And Galea is claiming the mark. I don't know that the umpire was going to pay it. And then he decided that he would.
It's a very late whistle, Pete.
It was. Let's have a look in replay.
Oh, no. That's hit the ground. I'm sorry.
Umpire was on the blind side, and the fact that Dean Galea just stayed there on the ground might have convinced him.
Oh. Look, we get the hindsight of a replay, sure, but come on.
Runs around just to get the angle a bit better and kicks the goal. An important one for Port Melbourne after the Bullants got 3 goals on the bounce, and so they reduced the gap back to 5 points after nearly 18 minutes in the first quarter.
Port Melbourne slightly into attack, trailing by 5 points, 18 minutes gone. DeLuca with the tap down. McGrath tries to evade the tacklers, and he does. Here's Dwyer with Yakabuchi for company. It's going to be a hard day. What can Kane create? He's very good in those situations. Francis's kick. How did he avoid the smother, firstly, and then just to prove the strength of the breeze and the gust that must have been up there, he's carried a snap 49 metres.
Beyond me how that has gone right to left when we saw a kick from Patrick Rose early in the quarter where he's hung it out right and it's actually faded away. That's unbelievable. But look, 2 quick goals to Port Melbourne, just penetrating the ball forward. And look at that, that's just come back right to left. And look, that's a very nice goal. Well done.
Crowd don't like it.
No. Unusual for the Port crowd to disagree with the umpires, Darren.
Yes.
It's never happened before. Here's Batsanis. Launches one inside the 50. Galea, a little nudge. He got away with it. Just eased his man under the football. The umpire was in the perfect spot and adjudicated that he didn't have a case to answer.
Yeah, well done by Galea. With the side that they've got in today, he's one that's got to probably stand up and play as a little bit of a tall target and try and take the ball at full stretch. But strong contested mark by Galea.
Disposals very close, 52 to 54 at the moment. The marks are 14 to 9 though in favour of Port. Inside 50s, 11-11. A real arm wrestle in the final, so kicks like these simply have to go through. Galea from 40. Brings it back beautifully. He's got his second goal of the afternoon. Port Melbourne regains the lead after 25 and a half. Went to go to Bransgrove. He wasn't confident from that pocket. Bransgrove somehow ducked underneath. He's only about 3'7", so it's a bit easier than for most people. Here's Kane, and they're running through the middle of the ground. Burston's handball. Dwyer has fumbled a couple of times today, uncharacteristically. Burston goes long. It's Fanning opposed to a couple. Ball's on the deck. Galea gets a high one. That was untidy as well. And Dean Galea is going to be shooting for goal number 3.
Yeah, obviously there. Look, it was there by Galea, but Galea made the decision opposed to Watson at that point in time. Watson flew, went for the spoil. Galea stayed on the ground. Has obviously resulted in a free kick. But I was going to say earlier, change probably needs to be made on Houlihan. I just think he's far too quick on the league for Plemming.
Rowan Kerr coming up with a decision that he'd probably like back again. The idea was okay, execution no good when he looked for Bransgrove, and all of a sudden Galea shooting for a third goal. Here's a good illustration. It'll be left goal post, bring it back. A bit like that. Dean Galea at one end, Ryan Houlihan at the other end. They're putting on a show in the final.
Look, they are. It's a bit of a shootout at the moment. Yes, Houlihan and Galea, no doubt about it, but it's just the ability of both sides to hit the forward target when they're going forward. Watson made a clear decision here to go the spoil. Galea stayed down. And we saw a similar one with Houlihan earlier in the first quarter. Just smart, going in, winning your own football. 9 times out of 10, if you're in there first, it'll result in a free kick.
The relatively small forward line's got the job done for the Borough most of the year with targets pinch hitting. McLean, that's against Curnow. So this will be Corey McGrath having a shot for goal. You'd back him in.
Look, you would. And the one thing that a clear free kick by Curnow on McGrath, but the one thing that you do like about McGrath's game when he does go forward is just his elite kicking skills. He's a very, very nice kicker of the football, so you don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but that's one attribute he does bring to the Port Melbourne side.
He was another one who got a knock on the leg just a moment ago, where someone ran across his leg as he was kicking it inside the 50, and he was just flexing the leg, so maybe that might be a factor in this kick.
Well, Phil suggested it was about a 2-goal breeze, and this will make the margin 14 points if he can do it, and the veteran can. Gary Ayres has been patient with him all year. He's had some injury problems, but he knows he's in their best 22, and he showed why there.
Curnow, Lambert tried to get the kick. Pinwell did. Dwyer just been a bit fumbly a couple of times today, uncharacteristic for Sam Dwyer. That kick's better. Out to Burston, right in front of the players' race. Pinwell running the lateral line for him. Burston, non-preferred foot through the hands of Yakabuchi. He might live to regret that. Here's Malcolm Lynch, turned in about 5 different directions. Pinwell didn't take it. Now he gets up, gets it a second time to Valenti. He's taken down from behind, and Kane Lambert has pinged for a push in the back. It was one of those ones that could have gone either way, and in the end, Lambert has just carried him forward.
Look, it's there. Lambert certainly fell into his back, and look, he knows about it. He knows the emotion. He's got the head there, but fantastic endeavour, though, to chase him down and to tackle him. But a couple of boys making a couple of silly errors there with their hands. Just shows you what finals football can be about. You just think about things a little bit too quickly and forget about the basic skill.
Well, even Adam Yakabuchi, who is normally so solid, so composed, dropping the mark. And it might hurt because Valenti into the breeze could make an early impression, and the Liston Trophy winner does just that. Valenti kicked his first goal of the afternoon. Port get it out to a 20-point lead. The challenge is thrown to the Bullants.
Valenti's been very smooth all day. Finds Burston. Rose a long way up the ground, plays on quickly. Galea's got 2 to beat. Can he do it? Well, it was a big mismatch in size. It was Yakabuchi who was matched up on Galea there, and obviously Dean Galea's marking prowess worried him. Ryan Gale just couldn't quite get to the contest.
I'll tell you what, there wouldn't be a defender. It's clearly there. There wouldn't be a defender in the country. When the ball's coming in quick, it's coming in fast, you're one-on-one, that wouldn't scratch and try and grab your opponent. So well done, and just quick movement always wins out.
Yeah, Patrick Rose is the player who went to Galea. Galea's got 3 goals, 63 for the season. He now has 64 for the season. So they extend their lead once more. It was 14 points at quarter time. It's now 20 points, 7 minutes into the second. To receive that honour. Great tap from Skipper, out into space. Lynch on a platter. Champagne footy, Port Melbourne.
They had the mark in the sport. Next on.
Yeah, no, look, and there's nothing you can do with that, unfortunately, as a defender. If your forward's got out in space with a kick like that from Malcolm Lynch, that's just class by Lynch. Just kick the ball into space. Galea, 2 steps, run, jump into it, took it at its highest point.
Dean Galea shooting at number 5. His season best was 7, which actually came against the Northern Bullants in round 21. So he likes these opponents.
Jump over.
Can he get 5.5 in a prelim final? He can.
Yep,
made the goal umpire work. It was a good camera angle once again. You could see the effect of the breeze, which is continuing to gust. Galea has 5. What a tap out from Skipper. They lead by 9 points.
Gruff was involved. Oh, Casbolt with a big flow is up there for a fortnight. Now he's come down awkwardly here, grimacing. Hopefully he's okay. Who's finished up with the footy? It's Patrick Rose in the pocket, looks in the corridor. Burston takes the mark. Good vision from Kerr. But the concern is for Casbolt, who got that massive fly and has landed awkwardly. And straight away, the pain was etched all over his face.
Billy, 1 minute too late.
Ankle to Hutch.
He went straight for the leg.
Oh, you can see his left ankle buckle.
Yeah.
A massive blow here for both Levi Casbolt and the Northern Bullants as Billy Burston comes in from 40 metres out and kicks truly. What an important couple of minutes that might turn out to be. Port Melbourne stretches the lead back out to 15 again, but there's concerns for Casbolt, a few concerns for Brock McLean, the tide perhaps turning in all sorts of different ways.
Look, it is, and you just hope that he can get back out there, particularly Brock McLean too, because...
So the Bullants leading by 8. They're defending at the moment. Rose sharked the tap out. One of the first taps, I reckon, that Nick Meese has won. Patrick Rose has kicked his 2nd goal for the game. He needs to come alive. Didn't have a great week last week, but again, he had a lot of mates. The Scorpions were not good in their last goal. Valenti!
Oh, my goodness!
Valenti! What else can you say? They're in front. He's got a couple. He's pumped. And you may as well fist pump, Shane, because you deserve it. How many blokes did he go past here? 5 or 6.
Fleet of foot comes to mind.
But it was dancing. Look at him. Oh, low centre of gravity, patience. That's what Phil and I were chatting about at half-time and you guys spoke about before the game.
And you know what that'll do? Lift his side. Yep. No doubt about it. That is a key moment in this game.
DeLuca kicks it wide to the Norm Goss wing. Skipper plays on. Francis. Where's the pressure? Downfield. Galea can run in for goal. Got a shepherd from McMahon. He's not going to get the trip. It's a mark to Fanning. Well done. Down there by White. Or was it Gale? As...
Oh, watch this. Yeah.
Walk away.
Dwyer's still down.
Well, it was either White or Gale down there who provided the spoil. We're getting, in fact, it's Tristan Francis, I think, who might be down.
It is.
Roses, whilst the footy goes on, the Bullants are coming out of defence. Biffin.
Toby, straight up.
Well, they might have to stop the game here. No stretcher called for as yet, so the game won't be stopped.
Yeah, well, they might have to try and send Skipper forward. Gary Ayres not happy with how his marking forwards are going, and Bonadeo would be useful in those circumstances, but he's not there. They'll have to come up with something else.
Valenti was up. Gale has kicked it to the middle of the ground again. Oh, that's a great contested mark by Skipper. Port Melbourne lifting. He goes to the grandstand side. Good hands by Burston. Wants to move it on quickly. The man on the mark, Yakabuchi. And Galea has juggled it over the boundary line, so it's going to be thrown back into play. Just couldn't quite control it before he crossed the stripe. And it's a good decision by the umpires. Valenti trying to pick someone's pocket. Meese is in there. Here's Dare to White. Back to Dare. He's hot. It's holding the ball.
On the footy.
And it is going to be one of the veterans, in fact, the veteran, Ryan McMahon, who has been the heart and soul of this football club for a long time, who's going to be the man to kick for a 6-point lead in his 205th game. Ryan McMahon reaching a milestone early. He's had a quiet day, but this could make up for it. The Port Melbourne crowd will tell the tale as McMahon kicks from 40. What a wonderful moment for the veteran. And now, once again, the gauntlet is thrown down to the Northern Bullants. The margin just 6 as we tick up to 7 minutes.
Well, Gary Ayres said it. It mightn't be your match, but it can be your moment. And McMahon hasn't had a very good day today, but he's certainly had a moment there where he chased down and finished off superbly. Just his second kick for the day, but a very crucial one.
Phil, we've been so lucky to see some great finals here over the last few years, and it seems as though Port's involved in a lot of them. A couple of classics against Box Hill. This one's right up there with the best of them.
Oh, absolutely, Peter. And look, the momentum just going a little bit with Port. What a remarkable fight back by them. They look to be in all sorts of strife.
Particularly on the Bullants side, they find a way and they find 2 goals and they find the lead. McMahon gives it to Lynch, up towards half-forward. Fleming! Hasn't been Matthew Watson's best day. And Fleming will have a chance to kick at goal for the 2nd time today. He was best on ground when these sides met back in round 4.
Ryan's good, Sen.
He is also not having a spectacular day by his lofty standards, but
He'll be having nightmares about Houlihan, I think.
just 6 possessions for the day, coming up for number 7. But he's a classy player. He's been in the VFL Team of the Year the last 2 years. And he kicks truly here. Look at what this means. The crowd are engrossed. Gary Ayres is impassive. And the Borough in front again by a point. Gets it to Watson. Get it out of there, young man. Joe Dare thinks about doing exactly that and nothing more. Oh, Saad really needed to make use of that because they were on. And now the Borough are on. Oh, that's a poor kick from Billy Burston. But Michael Dillon's alive and awake to it. This is frenetic football. They need a boundary throw in, and so do I.
Oh, but a lesson for young Saad there. You bend with your knees, not your hips.
But a lesson for a few blokes. You're spot on, Marty. But there were about 3 or 4 poor decisions made. They are getting tired, and it's been a tough day.
Not sure the ball went out. Looking at the replay, Lynch at the back. Can he finish? Oh, Kane standing there minding his own business in the goal square, and he has come up with a goal that gives Port some breathing space. They lead by 8 points. Will get his numbers, Chris Kane. It hasn't been a dominant day. He's had 13 disposals, but the 13th could prove critical.
Well, I'll tell you what, Malcolm Lynch again elusive a stoppage, forward momentum, great contest there by Galea, took out 2. Russell left Kane to try and impact the contest. Unfortunately, drops out the back. Kane's there. Goal to Port Melbourne.
How's Gary Ayres at the moment, Phil? Because everyone in this ground has got an elevated heart rate, I reckon, maybe except him.
Would you be surprised, Peter, if I said he was excited and he's coaching from the boundary and he's calling blokes off and screaming and yelling?
No,
would you be surprised? Well, you're not surprised. It's a great game of footy.
Valencia could go all the way here. Chooses to square it to Fleming.
McMahon just clutching at him. I'll get to Phil Cleary in a moment just to find out the fatigue levels over there as the interchanges are made. Bouncing ball. Dalton off his toe. Who's going to come up with it? Dillon just wanted it and goes busting through the middle. Dillon up to half forward, and the mark is taken. And it's McMahon who comes up with it, tries to kick it to Fleming. The unlikely hero, Sam Fleming, has kicked another one. Port might be headed for the grand final. You can't say it just yet at 21 minutes, but the move has paid off, and Fleming kicks his 2nd goal of the last quarter.
Well, I just think it's just a great decision by Gary Ayres to throw a few men around and try and exploit a tired Bullants side. But Fleming in this last quarter has been the difference. He had a rough start with Houlihan kicking a few goals on him early, but in this last quarter, he's really stood up and kicked a couple.
Phil, I talked about the fatigue that must be going on over at the interchange area at the moment. You've been keeping a close eye on it.
2 contrasting interchanges. The Bullants looking tired. Curnow being worked on. Only 4 interchanges. bunch. When the Borough boys come back, they walk and stand. No one being attended to by a physio or a trainer or the like. So the fitness is with them. What a side they are.
Brave mark by Jordan Russell. One umpire called a mark, another umpire called play on. I'm happy with it being awarded. It was a good job from him, but once again, it was John Baird out of the middle. 18-13 in the centre breaks in the match after it was 3-6 the Bullants' way in the first quarter. They are looking exhausted. McLean, he's been brave today, gets thumped into the dirt. McCorkle comes away with the footy. Dillon been fantastic, I reckon, on Sard. Sard's kicked 3, but very little of that can be attributed to the work of Michael Dillon as Kane goes forward once again. Oh, good contest, John Fania and Pinwell, Toby Pinwell. He is just he's an ox. He just bullets his way through, and a great shepherd provided. Chris Kane kicks the goal. Shooter McMahon was the man who laid the path on for him, and the silky smooth skills of the 24-year-old Chris Kane puts the Borough through to the grand final, you feel.
Oh, look, you do. And look, there's key moments in this last quarter. McMahon stood up early in the final term when his coach pleaded that his players have key moments. And McMahon, Kane now, and certainly Fleming as well. So it's a credit to them. They've hung on. The extra week's done them the world of good.
Phil, how many times over the years have we said about champion teams that they have the ability to find something when challenged, and that's exactly what's happened with Port today. All right, we'll get down to Phil in a moment. He probably can't hear us with the Port crowd in full voice. There's Baird again to Lynch. And he got some attention after he got rid of the footy. And Patrick Rose is going to be the man who will definitely put it in the record books here. Some important breaks from the clearances from Lynch today as well. And Patrick Rose, the Frosty Miller medalist, may have a premiership medal around his neck in about 8 days' time. Well, at least they're going to have the opportunity of doing that. Phil in close proximity with Gary Ayres.
Has he joined the Borough coaching staff?
I was about to say the same thing.
Patrick Rose with 2 goals for the day, 73 goals for the year. From 30. That's the icing on the cake. Port will be there on Sunday week. The Bullants have been magnificent, gallant. They've taken the lead at various times. Phil, it's been a terrific contest, but the point I was making about the champion teams is that they find a way to win.
What happens, Peter, is they produce heroes at critical moments. There's no doubt about it. What I've seen Pinwell do at the stoppages at ground level here has been nothing short of superhuman. Yeah. He's driven this game. The last 20 minutes, he's been absolutely astounding. Gary Ayres would love him for the way he's played.
We've been talking about that grand final all year, and we're one step closer to getting it. Port Melbourne is one step away from the perfect season. They have made it through to the grand final of 2011 against a brave Northern Bullants. But for Port, this is the step that had to be taken. It is win number 20, and their coach Gary Ayres will lead his side undefeated into a grand final next week. He's with Phil.
Gary, I've done a bit of coaching and watched a bit of coaching. I take my hat off to you. I think to get them up in the last quarter was a brilliant performance by you, as well as the team.
Oh, I don't do too much, Phil. It's the players that drive it out there, and you can just talk about all the superlatives, but John Baird, Toby Pinwell, this group, they got so much courage, mate, today. They had to go to battle against an extremely good side. Houlihan's kicked 5 goals, and Sam Fleming stood up, mate. So just goes to show it mightn't be your match, but it can be your moment.
You've played with some of the legends of the game, the Brerettons, and on it goes. Toby Pinwell, last quarter, where does that rank in the games you've been in?
Oh, phenomenal, mate. And look, I know he's got a personal vendetta, I guess, against himself, if you like, because he's just been marvellous, mate. So fantastic for everybody, really, and the Borough supporters behind. done.
We've run out of time. We could talk for a while. Well done.
Good on you, mate. Thanks, pal.
We'll get the opportunity to talk to him next week, Phil, with the grand final at the Dockland Stadium, and they will go in against either Williamstown or Werribee. Don't forget the second of the preliminary finals coming up tomorrow. Those long-suffering supporters have been waiting for a long time. 29 years for a flag. Marty Pass, this might be the team to give it to them.
Look, certainly. Look, they were outstanding today, but all full credit to the Bullants today. I thought they were outstanding also. 3 quarters, they really mashed it with them. We see Houlihan there. He was superb too. Sard was great. They really tried. They really led from the front, but fantastic match, fantastic moment. Galea, absolutely outstanding. Well done.
Let's get down and hear quickly from Toby Penwell. What a game he had, Phil Cleary.
I'm just saying to you, Coach, I've seen some games of footy. I've seen some great players. Your performance in the last quarter, I'm telling you, was absolutely inspiring. You happy?
Oh, bloody wrapped, of course. I mean, anytime you get into a grand final, it's a good feeling. I mean, I think obviously all the boys really lifted, but I thought our captain Birdie was pretty special in the last quarter.
Indeed he was, but gee, you drove it. Was the heart pounding? What was happening?
Yeah, I've got a heart rate monitor on. I think I blew it up. So it's I don't know. It's the games that you want to play, and we had some, a lot of disappointment last year personally as a team, and it's just great to be in a position to, to really, I suppose, capture what we've been waiting for so long.
Wonderful game. Well done. All the best.
Cheers, Phil.
Toby Penwell, a fantastic performance, and so Port will play the winner of Williamstown and Werribee. So Port remains undefeated, and they make it all the way through to the big one. Will it be Williamstown? Will it be Werribee? We'll find out tomorrow. I hope we can have your company then. For now, on behalf of the team from Port Melbourne, after a magnificent game of finals football, it's goodbye from Grandstand.